he was only 12, and his name was Roger. He was handsome. Every boy wants to be friends with him. And that kingdom has many towns and villages. Everybody was happy. But one day, one terrible thing happened. That one unfortunate day, the young, handsome prince, Prince Roger, he was missing. He was nowhere to be found. So the king was so worried. He was only 12, and he sent out his army and on horses, and they looked all over the towns and villages. They had the posters of his face on the posters, then they put all over the places, like in the neighborhood, in towns and villages, you know. So if anyone found him, they should tell the king. But everybody was sad, but they could not find, you know. And in that kingdom, there's a village. That village was called Village of the Beggars. Anyone have idea who are beggars? Anybody knows? You want to tell us?
They're people who ask you for stuff, like they won't pay for it. They just want to get it.
That's very good. Yes, beggars are a little bit less fortunate people who do not have enough money for food, who do not have enough money for clothes, and sometimes they don't even have a place to sleep. You know, and that village was meant for beggars, and it was called the Village of the Beggars. And in that village, there was one boy. His name was Godfrey. And he lives with his uncle, Sam. So his uncle was busy most of the time during daytime looking for food. And sometimes they didn't have enough food to eat, and sometimes no food at all some days. But Uncle Sam, he did some very good thing for the kids of that village of beggars. He brought some toys for them to play, you know, in one spot. And Godfrey the beggars, you know, that boy who lives with Uncle Sam, he loved playing in that field. And one day he saw this stranger. A young boy showed up. And Godfrey, the bigger boy, he asked him, "Hi, I am Godfrey, what's your name?" And that boy was like, "I don't know my name." Godfrey was surprised. "What? You don't even know your name? At least all the bigger boys, at least they know their names." And he asked him again, "Where are you from?" "I don't know where I am from. Somebody found me there and they told me this is where the beggars live, and they sent me here. They told me I belong here. I don't know who my parents are." And then Godfrey was very surprised with that boy, you know. Then anyway, they played together in that playground, and Godfrey, the beggar, he noticed something in the boy's neck. You know, something was shining. It was a medallion made of gold. Godfrey asked him, that nameless boy, "Can I have a look at that?" "Okay." Then he showed him. And there was some inscription on that medallion, golden medallion. It says, "To my only son, Roger." And there was an imprint of the king's image on that medallion. And Godfrey was like, "Oh, you might be the prince who was missing. Look at this. This is the picture of the king is right there in that medallion." And nameless boy was like, no. I could not be the prince. Because look at me, I dress just like a beggar and I live here. How can I be a prince? And Godfrey was like, okay, let's look at the posters we have all over the places. And so they go near the posters and they compare and look, you look exactly like the kid in this poster too. And then finally they could convince him, that nameless boy, that he was the prince, and they took him to the king palace, and he was very happy. The king was very happy to find his lost boy, and he celebrated. Celebrated with the people. There's a big celebration in the palace, and the Godfrey also, he went back to his beggar's village, and the next morning he went to play again in the playground, and look what he found. He found the same boy again playing and dressed just like the beggars. He asked him, "Are you not the prince? Why you're still here?" "No, that boy was like, "No, I'm the beggar." So sometimes we are just like Prince Roger. We forget about who we are. God, we are the sons and daughters of the mighty King who created all the universe. We forget about who we are and we live in sin away from Him. We refuse to see the wealth He has for us. Okay? Let us remember that we are the sons and daughters of the Almighty King. Let's not be like Prince Roger. Let's remember who we are. Let's not forget we are the sons and daughters of the Almighty who created everything in it. And He is all the things He created. They are for us as long as we live with Him, not stay away in the beggar's village just like Roger, and He lives in us. Okay? Thank you for listening to my story.